You're welcome back to Morning Express. Now let's open up the floor for the last leg of discussions on the program this morning. Joining us virtually from Asaba, the Delta State capital, is Dr. Osodeke Onovughe, who is a public affairs analyst and also a friend of the station. A very good morning to you, Doctor. Thank you so much for availing yourself for this discussion. Well, let's delve right into it. I've been speaking with the previous guest concerning the most recent abductions in Kebbi State, abduction of 25 schoolgirls, the killing of a vice principal, the murder by ISWAP terrorists of a brigadier general, and the attack in Kwara at a CSE church where we heard that there were some casualties and about 30 persons were also abducted. Quite a lot of things have happened in the last 72 hours, and the federal government has stated that the country is on red alert at the moment. What is your assessment of the entire security situation as it stands right now in Nigeria?
Uh-huh. What I'm saying is that what is happening in Nigeria doesn't call for any cause for alarm. We have seen worse. There were daily killings of soldiers, ambushing of soldiers, destruction here and there, attacking barracks. But what we have was just an isolated incident in Boronu, in Kebbi, in Kwara, and these are isolated cases. Bornu have been hotspot for a long time. Kebbi is equally an hotspot, and Kwara is the same thing. In the last 72 hours, what we have witnessed is that a lot of persons have their own agenda. You see a lot of videos flying. Some say 50 have been killed in Kaduna, 70 have been killed in Bauchi. You see all sorts of videos, and they are trying to heighten this tension. I don't see anything wrong in it. I believe the federal government is directly in control of what is happening. Kidnapping of 25 girls in Kebbi was unfortunate. But if you look at Kebbi very well, Kebbi is very close to the epicenter. Kebbi is close to Burkina Faso. It has a boundary with the Republic. It's close to Mali. These are hotspots of terrorist bases. And so it's not surprising that some of them can cross into Nigeria. And that is why we have been recommending that the solution to terrorism and banditry in Nigeria is a problem of geographical catastrophe, and it must be solved within the geographical region of West Africa. All the soldiers within this region, we need to have a regional army to fight these combined terrorist attacks. So I don't see anything new, and I believe our soldiers are not helpless.
All right, Doctor, just this morning we saw that the Nigerian Labour Congress, the NLC, alongside Jamaatul Nasir Islam, that's JNI, and also the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, are calling for a decisive action against terrorism, banditry, and insecurity in the country. While JNI and CAN are religious groups, the NLC, we understand, is a labor union. What is the position, or how much importance do the roles of these two institutions, the JNI and the CAN, what roles do they have to play in this entire fight against insurgency in order to quell this narrative that is being pushed, as you claimed, to destabilize and tarnish the image of the country?
It's natural. It's natural. You must see religious bodies. Anytime there's killing, a lot of persons will speak. You expect labor to speak. Even you yourself in the studio, you will be speaking. I myself, I will be speaking. Nobody globally will see that there is killing or kidnapping of small children. And you say people will not speak. Yes, they must speak up. But everybody have a role to say, yes, we are speaking up. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't commend our military for the role they played in keeping these terrorists quiet for a long time. They don't sleep. If not for this gallantry of our military men, the whole country would have been taken over by these terrorist groups. Over 40% of Mali, as we are speaking today, is under this terrorist group control. So it's normal. Labour will speak, this will speak, everybody will speak. We must condemn it. But beyond condemnation, we must commend our soldiers Whatever they are fighting today is not within our borders. If it's just like you have normal criminals, kidnappers, ritualists, you have armed robbers, they are within our territories. Easy to quell, easy to end. But if you look at where we've been before and where we are today, our soldiers should be commended. And all they need now are moral support. We need to tell them, good work, boys, you are doing well. We want you to do more, and we believe in you that you can do more. But if we have to press the panic button, if we press the panic button today, who are we calling to come and save us? Some people are saying they should call Trump. Some are saying they should call UK. These people don't care. That is the simple truth. They don't care. This is not this. We are not even in the height of the war. We're in the height when bombs were exploding in Abuja, bombs were exploding in Lagos and Kanu, bombs were exploding in Borno. Did they come to help us? No. But look at what they've done with Ukraine. They are giving Ukraine France 2 days ago gave Ukraine 100 warplanes. America has spent over 300 to 500 billion on Ukraine. And if you ask these elites, how much have they spent on Nigeria terrorist campaign? They've not spent a dime. Even when Buhari went there to buy Tucano jets from the Americans, we spent almost $1 billion. What did they tell us? Don't use this war jets outside the northeast. Okay, what of when crisis broke out in the northwest? Which jet are we going to use there? So nobody's coming to save us. We must boost the morale of our military men, and they are going to get the job done.
Well, in boosting the morale of our military men, the Nigerian army has stated that it is set to recruit about 24,000 new soldiers into the army. However, as I was speaking to Mr. Ben, who just left the studio, he had other assertions towards this. He said that recruiting this 24,000 men is not just enough, because they will have to go through months of rigorous training, orientation, and even when they come out of that training, they are still considered a little too fresh and inexperienced to be able to tackle the current issue bedeviling the country. So do we have to wait until these 24,000 plus men have been, taken through the months of rigorous training before we now address the current situation that we are facing? Is this a viable solution in your opinion?
It's been addressed. Whether they recruit around today, Nigerian military has over 350,000 soldiers.
How is it being addressed, Doctor? How is it being addressed? Because we have seen videos of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shuaibu, addressing, troops in Kwara, in Kebbi State, and he attacks them with the, responsibility of getting these abducted girls back and reconciling them with their families. However, on their way to carry out that order, they were ambushed again. This is not even news that is all over the place, but we know that there was an ambush that still occurred. So how is the military handling this situation, specifically the Army and the Air Force?
I don't want to join that speculation that they were double ambushed when they went to go and rescue those girls. I don't want to join that speculation. For now, there is no official military. And when you say, what are they doing? And you don't think they are doing anything to solve it. Like now I'm in Asaba, here in Delta State. I'm very free. There is maximum security here in Asaba. I'm very free. Nothing is happening here. You are in Abuja. Nothing is happening to you there in Abuja. You are very free. So it doesn't fit into the narrative that every part of Nigeria is insecure. You are very secure within that your studio. That your studio is within Nigeria, there in Abuja. I'm very secure here in Asaba, down in Delta State. So we have some flashpoint, like I mentioned. Kwara State is a flashpoint recently. Kwara State became a flashpoint recently. But you look back to Benue, which has been a hotspot for a long time. Benue is peaceful. You look at Plateau, which has been a hotspot for a long time. Plateau is peaceful. You look at Kaduna, that has been a flashpoint for a long time. Kaduna is peaceful. So you look at the gains. There must be setbacks in one or two places.
Now hold on, Doctor. Let's revisit your statements. Did you say that Benue is peaceful at the moment?
Very peaceful.
Plateau is peaceful at the moment. The same thing with Kaduna.
Very, very.
But what if I told you that in southern Kaduna, just a couple of weeks ago, there was a fresh attack that claimed the lives of people in southern Kaduna, one that, again, the defense headquarters refused specifically to address and acknowledge it as an attack, just the way they are refusing to acknowledge the ambush that was done on the men that were sent by the Chief of Army Staff to go and rescue these 25 kidnapped schoolgirls in Kebbi State. What if I told you that in Kwara, the CSE attack that happened did not only claim the lives of 2 people, but 30 people were abducted in Kwara State? What if I told you that in Kebbi, beyond the abduction of the 25 schoolgirls, 1 vice principal was killed? Did the army deny the killing of Brigadier General Uba at first or not? They did, but there was a video that later resurfaced of the army general being executed like an ordinary criminal by ISWAP terrorists. Would you say that there is relative peace in places like Biu in Borno State? Would you say that there is relative peace in places, in other places, maybe like Damboa in Borno State as well? All of these are hotspots that people living there are living their lives on a daily basis with fear, hoping that they don't wake up one day and realize that an ISWAP terrorist or a Boko Haram terrorist or a bandit or whatever their name might be is holding a gun against their head on a daily basis. People live with that fear. Are you still refuting the fact that there is a security situation in Nigeria that needs to be addressed, that needs to be recognized at first and then addressed decisively?
If I have to butt in here, nobody is saying there's no issue of insecurity. Insecurity is a global trend, and what we have is unique. Like I told you in the course of this discussion, insecurity is this terrorist insecurity is not restricted to our borders. And when we are looking at it, we should look at it. How complex is it? Even if you bomb all the terrorists within Nigeria enclave, drop all the bomb and kill all of them today, they will regroup in Mali, they will regroup in Chad, they will regroup in Niger, and they will come back. So it's going to be with us for a very long time, or not until there is a regional approach. And that's why I said the military takeover in Niger, Chad, Mali, and Burkina Faso was a huge setback for West Africa, because now the region ECOWAS has been split into 2, with ECOWAS on one part and the Sahel state in another section. So a combined way of fighting this terrorism has been defeated with this military takeover and the division within West Africa. So when you say, is there insecurity? Yes, there is insecurity. But do you equally deny the fact that you are not safe in Abuja? Are you not safe? You are safe in Abuja. I'm not equally going to say in Benin, my mom is there. My mom has been calling and we discuss every day. Benin is safe. So are we going to just throw the backwater and say nowhere is safe in Nigeria? There are safe havens in Nigeria, a lot of safe havens.
Doctor, you say that we are safe in Abuja, and I want to tell you specifically, apart from the issue of one chance that is rampant in the city, there have been kidnappings in the city of Abuja, people being stopped on the highway and being dragged out of their cars and kidnapped for ransom, people being kidnapped from their homes in certain parts of the city. I have covered reports in that regard. I might even state something very personal, but I was robbed some months ago in my own home. I was robbed, and these armed robbers were young men. I will specifically state that they were young Fulani men that came into my home. They robbed my house, carted away with laptops, phones, jewelry, cash, and a lot of things. And you sit there in Asaba and you tell me that Abuja is safe. I can also tell you specifically that in Asaba, we have been seeing reports of the numerous cases of kidnappings in the city of Asaba. That is why a lot of security outfits in the city are thriving and are making a lot of money, because people of influence or people who have a little money cannot even move around freely in Asaba without guarding them due to the high rate of kidnapping in Asaba. So I do not agree with you when you say that we are safe in Abuja and you are safe in Asaba. Even if we are not disputing the fact that there are people in Nigeria close to us, in Plateau, in Benue, in Kwara, in Kebbi, in Yobe, in Borno, that are suffering on a daily basis from fear of being killed, kidnapped, raped, or even worse, by bandits and terrorists?
The biggest fear are scaremongering. When people say, just as you mentioned, there was one of our popular celebrity that went to France some time ago, who claimed all our bags were stolen. Like in US record millions of burglary crime every year. US record over 42,000 people being killed by gun violence every year. It happens in France. There are some crimes that have become normalized within our system, and nobody say is the right thing to do. But when they started, did we did we nip it in the bud? When kidnapping started in the Niger Delta, and the federal government was going against these militants that started this kidnapping, a lot of our citizens were saying that we are fighting for their rights. What they are doing now is that their oil must be given to them, even when they were blowing up pipelines, destroying the environment. So many Nigerians were singing that nobody should touch them. It is their right to fight for their oil. And now they exported that kidnapping into the larger Nigeria. So all of us have to hold ourselves responsible for clapping for these criminals to nationalize this within our fabrics. When down to today we have Yahoo. If EFCC arrests 1,000 Yahoo boys today, you go to under the media session, you see people telling you they are not the only fraudsters. Politicians are fraudsters. They should be allowed to operate. Do you think these fraudsters, these Yahoo boys, you think all of them are the ones pressing computer? Many of them are kidnappers. And when they are dealt with, the society will be the first to say, leave them. They have nothing to do. That's why they are doing it. When terrorism started in the north, somebody like Yerima, who started Sharia law in Zamfara State, is quiet now, he cannot talk, because then they were implementing Sharia law in almost every northern state. 12 states, 12. That was where they implemented Sharia. And the northerners were happy. They were celebrating it. They radicalized a lot of their youths. They radicalized a lot of their clerics. And today we are bearing the fruit of what they saw.
Dr. Osodeke, I just want to ask you a very simple question. Are people being kidnapped in Asaba or not?
People are being kidnapped all over Nigeria.
Are people being kidnapped in Asaba or not?
Yes.
People are being kidnapped in Asaba even as I speak with you right now.
Yes, but it's not rampant.
How would you differentiate being kidnapped and being, kidnapping that is rampant? When you say it's not rampant, what do you mean?
You gave your assertion that this was what happened to you some time ago, and I just gave you an assertion of what happened in the US. When I say millions of houses are burgled or shops are burgled in US with all their surveillance camera, with all their security. And it's the same globally. There is no country globally where you say there is zero crime. There is no country. You can't point anyone. You can't point one place that you say this country there is no crime inside. So Nigeria with 240 million people, it would be absurd to think that as a country there won't be criminals. There must be criminals.
Doctor, is it normal for schoolgirls to be kidnapped from their school? Their vice principal killed, 25 schoolgirls kidnapped, and almost a week later, their location is not known. The abductors are still at large. And even with all military intervention, security forces flying around here and there, we still don't have any tangible information regarding the location of these girls. Is this something that you consider normal? Do you also consider normal an attack in the CSC church in Kwara State where 2 persons were killed and 30 individuals abducted? Are all of these things normal? Should we consider them normal just because we are about 230 million in Nigeria and crime must exist in any society? Does it mean that when it happens, we should just accept it as a natural phenomenon that should occur irrespective of whether we are in Nigeria, the US, China, Germany, or the Democratic Republic of Congo?
What is abnormal? What is abnormal is the reaction of most Nigerians.
How would you call their reactions abnormal? In what way?
Their reaction is abnormal. If you are within the social media space as I'm speaking now, you see all sorts of fake news. 90 to 99% of fake news flying everywhere over this issue of insecurity. And why did I say Nigerians, they are reacting abnormally? In this country, over 120 girls were abducted because we have to draw sympathy from politics. What has been happening now is the reaction is more political than sympathy. In this country, over 120 Chibok girls were abducted under PDP. And when this abduction took place, they couldn't trace these girls. If not for the strength and the conviction of General Muhammadu Buhari that's led to the rescue of over half of these girls, they would have all perished without anybody tracing them. And when we are saying our reaction, when I say our reaction, we refuse to pinpoint this terrorist challenge to some certain zone where they are active. And that is why I said, you are safe in Abuja, because if you have lived in Abuja for years, even during the time of Jonathan, you should be aware that bombs were going up almost every week. Bombs, I'm telling you, bomb blast. So we should restrict it. The reaction is the greatest challenge here. People are reacting abnormal because they want to politicize it. El-Rufai, for example, have not spoken for the past 3 to 4 months. Yes, she has not spoken. But immediately this is happening, he wants to tell us that his party, ADC, is the one that will rescue Nigeria from what we have found ourselves. Aregbesola, who was there as Minister of Interior when prisons were broken in Abuja and broken all across Nigeria, he's now saying he will be the one to solve insecurity in Nigeria. So it's more of political reactions. So we should separate both. And if we have lived in this country since 2009, when bombs were going off, terrorists were breaking houses, killing people massively, taking over a land space that was bigger than the whole of Southeast. They were controlling a land space that was bigger than the whole of Southeast of Nigeria. Nobody reacted the way they are reacting now. So people are mainly reacting because of politics. Like I said, whatever is happening within this terrorism fight, within this period, within these last 2 weeks, is restricted to some section of 3 or 4 states. And so we shouldn't generalize it as a national problem or national issue. No. Nigeria is secure.
Well, you're saying that we shouldn't generalize it, but the federal government has clearly stated that Nigeria's security is on red alert. What do you understand by that, Doctor?
Obviously, any kidnap, that is to show you how responsible the government is. Because when I mentioned that of Chibok girls, when it happened, Jonathan was somewhere in part of Nigeria here dancing Azonto, dancing and singing Azonto in one rally. But when this happened, when the responsible government, they are in charge, they have to, the first thing to do is to declare an emergency. No matter any country where you say your girls, 25 of them or 24 of them, have been kidnapped, and maybe you see the president, the defection in Taraba was cancelled. The president was supposed to be in a G20 summit, he cancelled it. So if such a thing happened and you see the president in Taraba dancing Azonto, the APC chairman is in Benin dancing Azonto, then you know they are irresponsible government. Any responsible government anywhere, even if it happens in Lagos, if it happens in Calabar, they have to declare red alert because it shows that the government is responsive and want to tackle and fix that problem.
Well, interesting take you have there, Doctor. We have just about 3 minutes to wrap up this discussion. You have quite strongly defended the federal government and actions being taken to quell this situation, while also downplaying the severity of it. I believe a notion that many Nigerians might not agree with. However, from a holistic point of view, religious institutions have spoken, traditional heads of institutions have spoken, government has spoken. We have heard Nigerians crying and bemoaning the situation. How do we holistically address it in such a way that even if we have pockets of these attacks here and there, it doesn't get to a point where the average Nigerian feels unsafe and fears for their life on a daily basis?
The first way of helping Nigerians is for everyone, you, myself, the media, any of us that are using any form of media, whether social media or conventional media, we have to first of all de-escalate the situation, because a lot of, like some of you in the studio, you discuss these issues. If you tune to radio stations across the country today, the way they spread this fear. If you, we have what we call psychology. Some of us, we are so ignorant about how whatever we are saying affects the psychology of an average Nigerian. We don't care. We are irresponsible in reporting incidences in Nigeria. If you look at the social media space, you see some people lying dead everywhere, hundreds. They just tell you it happened in Kaduna yesterday. We don't have sensibility of information. So first of all, we have to de-escalate. And my message first to every Nigerian: don't take any message you hear. If any radio is trying to amplify whatever is happening, now switch off your radio, switch off your television, so that first of all, you have to get sanity. People should not be scaremongering and telling you Armageddon is about to happen between today and tomorrow. The issue is restricted to some states, Kwara, Kebbi, and Borno, and they will be tackled by the military. And when we talk of holistic tackling of this institution, these religious bodies that you just made mention of, they have to call their members to order. They are not helping the situation. You look at camp president saying there is a lot of genocide. Do we even know the meaning of genocide? What is genocide? We have issues of farmers and elders clashes here in Nigeria. Yes, it has been there with us for years, and it's for us to call on the security to tackle it, but not to say do we even know? America refused to agree that there was genocide in Palestine, where 70,000 people were killed in 2 years. So the religious body need to de-escalate. We are the black and the biggest and strongest country in Africa, even in the world. So we have to again reappraise and praise our security. The Islamic clerics, they have to tell their people to stop preaching radical, because the biggest threat in this terrorism war is that there are locals who are in full support of these terrorists. That is the simple truth. And many of them have been radicalized by these religious people, thinking they can set up an Islamic caliphate in the whole of northern Nigeria, in the whole of Niger and Niger, in the whole of Chad, in the whole of Mali and Burkina Faso. That is their aim, and they have local collaborators. So the religious bodies need to de-escalate the way their radical preachers preach to their people. So the key step depends on these religious people. Then the security part of it, I think we have to call on the states, because it's not a matter. When you say kidnapping is happening in Asaba, for example, it's not a national security issue. It's local. It's within the state, and they can be fought by the state governor. The state governor can set up Amotekun, for example, in Southwest. He's doing a great job. So we can equally establish whatever is being done in Southwest today. We can bring it to Delta State. We can bring it to Abuja. Abuja can have their own personal security, and they are to curb these local security challenges like kidnapping, armed robbery, and the rest. So these are not national problems. These are state and localized problems.
All right, Dr. Osodeke, I wish we had more time to stretch this discussion, but this is where we will have to end it. It's been interesting having this discussion with you. Hopefully we will have you here again on Morning Express to still talk on national security matters with more facts and figures. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. My pleasure too.
That has been Dr. Osodeke Onovughe, who is a public affairs analyst, speaking to us from Asaba, the Delta State capital, lending his thoughts on the security situation in the country and the declaration of a red alert on the security of the country by the federal government. This is the package on Morning Express this morning. My name is Chijioke Okafo. At the top of the hour, our Yo studios will be on standby to take you through ADBN Sports. Stay tuned.